Hello again, and welcome to Don't Mess with the Mamas podcast. Here today with me, Arlena Black, and Johnny Mitchell. Today, we are going to talk about the self-reflecting mirror. What's that? To give you a funny little story, way back before there was such a thing as mirrors, and the first mirror was made of bronze, a woman held it up to her face and she scolded her husband, and she thought that he was seeing another woman because she had never seen a self-reflection before. There's also a very famous Russian proverb that says, "Don't blame the mirror if your face is awry." But it is really hard to self-reflect, isn't it? Johnny, why do you think that that's the case? To really be able to self-reflect and see ourselves as others see us, or just as we want to be.
I totally agree, Elena, that this is probably the most difficult thing for a person to do, even though it seems easy because it's yourself that you are looking at. But I think it's probably the hardest thing. And the reason I think it's so hard, for example, our eyelashes are so close to us, our lips are so close, but we are unable to see it.
Yep.
Now, the other part about that, it's so easy to see other people's face and see it in its totality. I'm happy that we're going to be discussing that today because we will find that happy medium between doing your self-reflection as well as the input from others who have probably a better view of yourself than yourself might have.
So I'm going to share a little bit about when I first started practicing Buddhism, because we have something called the Gohonzon, which serves as the mirror of our soul, you can say, or our spirit, or our life itself, all the causes we've created from the moment that we were born or for the eternal past. And when I first started chanting, I started seeing stuff about myself that I really didn't like at all, and it was really difficult to face. Most people would rather not face their lives, or if they face their lives, they're thinking in a very negative way and they're putting themselves down, which is not the purpose of our existence. It is to really become happy as we are, even if we've got lots of problems and difficulties and whatever it is. So when I first started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, I started seeing the gook in my life. And I used to call my seniors in faith, and I would say, okay, it's time for me to leave now. I have to go to Europe. And I had this weird, I don't know what I was thinking. I was very young at the time. And I thought, well, if I go to Europe, I can escape my karma. I can leave my karma behind me. But we know that that doesn't exist. You take your life wherever you go. And no matter how far away you go, no matter how far away you run, you're still taking yourself. So I was wondering if, Johnny, you would like to share something about that, your experience and, overcoming and challenging your life to become the best human that you could possibly be.
Thank you, Elena. That's really a big task for me. I think personally that I am very good at self-reflecting, and maybe I reflect too much on myself and I give grace to others, and I guess I would like to have as a part of this discussion that it would be so helpful for us to reach our best selves, or to be able to reach that happy place that we all striving for, and to become a better person, is to have others who are in our lives who are able to offer reflections that might sound like a criticism or something negative, but it's actually there for you to be able to grow and heal, because the saying that only what's revealed can you heal is very important. And so it's an exchange between people, and I think that's a very difficult part of life as I see it. What do you think about that, and what's been your experience with self-reflection and also helping others see what you might see about themselves?
I think that's great what you just had to say. In fact, I mostly think everything you say is great. So the adage, no man is an island, is so true, because you can't polish the diamond inside your life by cutting yourself off from the world. And we often say it's like when you are thrown in with different types of people, like very diverse people, it's like potatoes in a sack, and you're rubbing each other to become really polished potatoes. But the rub is not always so comfortable. But I know that I've always sought somebody to really point out to me what I need to really change about my life. And having somebody like that in your life is really, really helpful, but not in a way that, just criticizing you and putting you down, but really offering you something that you can really see, wow, maybe I can challenge that aspect, or I can really overcome this aspect of my life. That's why it's so important for us to be able to interact with all different kinds of people. Sometimes the interaction is really difficult, especially when you interact with somebody who you're so completely different from philosophically, psychologically, spiritually, economically, politically, in every which way. But by really opening up our hearts to be able to interact that kind of way, we can really see ourselves in a different light. And, changing it just a little bit. Or did you want to add something before I say something else? Is there something you'd want to say about that?
Well, I really appreciate what you've said, and I would probably add that this self-reflection, or if it's an input from somebody who's near and dear to us, who helps us to grow, is that we should look at self-reflection as a superpower, and as you express, a challenge to become the better person and to reach that stage of happiness that we're all trying to reach, and to appreciate what we always say, how wonderful life is, and it can only get better.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I wanted to mention something a little bit funny. A lot of times, well, I don't know if it's funny, but people will say, oh, if I only didn't have this boss, I would be so much happier. Oh, if I didn't have to deal with this relationship, I would be so much happier. Or if I didn't have to, everybody's looking to change their environment, but the environment is nothing but a shadow of the self. And if the self is all crooked and bent over, well, the shadow is going to do the same exact thing. So you can't change your environment, because that's a shadow, that's external. It's only by you changing yourself will you be able to see a different kind of environment. And to give an example, I know somebody who was married a few times, and the first husband, she had many difficult times with, and then she remarried, and the person was completely different in appearance, in background, every which way, and it ended up so many similar aspects that she had to deal with. So going to keep on repeating that until you yourself change. And again, that's the most difficult thing of all. Anything you want to add to that, Johnny?
Well, that made me chuckle, because as somebody who's divorced, when I get in a mood where I'm unhappy about something in my life, in the past, when I was married, it's because of my partner and the marriage. And now it's like, well, who do I blame now? And so it's a realization that it's about what's inside of us, and not until we fix that. And again, what you said, we tend to go out and attract. And so as I entered the dating world, it was like, oh my goodness, I have attracted the same person that I left. And so it's about changing what's inside of me. So I really appreciate this discussion today and what you've shared. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's the hardest thing, and it's the easiest because otherwise you just keep on repeating the same thing over and over again, and it's like a hamster in a wheel, never getting off that wheel, and it becomes painful, of course. You know, might as well change what you're going to do in this lifetime, right? Instead of having, because we believe life is eternal, who wants to deal with that crap and, you know, lifetime after lifetime? Man, might as well change it all up this lifetime and really polish your life. And yeah, so we all have such experiences, absolutely. So I think we're going to be a little bit shorter this time, unless you wanted to add something.
I think we've covered most of the important things that we wanted to share. So
Yeah.
it's okay for us to wrap it up?
Yeah, I
Would you
think,
like-
and we would, again, love to hear from you because, you know, so many people have these experiences, and of course, we can all relate. We're just human. Everybody's human, wherever you are in the globe. Doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what religious background you have, what political persuasion, what economic, you know, how, whatever it is. But we're all human, and we all go through the same stuff in one way or another. So it's about us really challenging our own lives and overcoming and really branching out and you know, connecting with other people's lives, as you said, Johnny. So to wrap it up, we're going to share some encouraging words. And these are two. It is because each of us is different that dialogue enables us to create fresh value and make new discoveries. Dialogue serves as a mirror, enabling us to see others as well as ourselves. Exactly what you were talking about, Johnny. It enables us to break through the shell of our ego and expand our state of life. And just to share something else, I just finished a book about Jacinda Ardern, and she was the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. And she was so humble, and her goal was to make a political vision filled with kindness, not anger and trying to step over people and self-centeredness. And this is what she said at the very end of her book, and I really thought this was encouraging and related to what we're talking about today. Here is what I would say to everyone who doesn't fit the old mold. If you have imposter syndrome, and many of us have, or question yourself, channel that. And she definitely had imposter syndrome. She did not think she could ever be prime minister. It will help you. You will read more, ask, seek out advice, and humble yourself to situations that require humility to be conquered. If you're anxious and overthink everything, if you can imagine the worst-case scenario always, channel that too. It will mean you are ready when the most challenging days arrive. And if you are thin-skinned and sensitive, if criticism cuts you in two, that is not weakness, it's empathy. In fact, all of the traits that you believe are your flaws will come to be your strengths. The things you thought would cripple you will in fact make you stronger and make you better. They will give you a different kind of power and make you a leader that the world, with all its turmoil, may just need. And in that sense, we are all leaders, and you don't have to be a leader on stage or be recognized. Just be a leader in your own life. Because remember, you are the protagonist, not the victim of your destiny. Tune in next week when we talk about a subject that everybody can relate to: money, money, money. Once again, you can find us at Don't Mess with the Mamas, MOMMAS podcast. We're on Libsyn, LIBSYN, and several other platforms. Just Google us. And we would love to hear from you. just email us at mommas, mommas, .podcast @gmail.com. And again, we can't emphasize enough, you are the protagonist, not the victim of your destiny. Bye for now.